There's an important revolution I first started talking about in the roaring 2000s. That was all the way back in early 1998. It's called the network revolution. How do we run society, corporations, businesses, organizations from the bottoms up, not the top down, organizing around the customer, not around the back lines and management and bureaucracy? How do we cut out all the bureaucracy in companies and allow them to respond in real time and customize products and services? This is what the information revolution's really about. And you know what? 2 decades later, and it's only starting to happen. There's a book you should read. It's called Our Towns by James and Deborah Fallows. You can get that on Amazon. I just ordered it. I should get it today, Friday, or Saturday at the latest, and I'm going to read this book. These people got in their Cessna and for years took off and traveled around and just hung out in small towns and communities across the country. And what do they see? Not top-down failed politics. They see bottoms-up grassroots efforts. They see people willing to pay more taxes if they know and can see the improvements it's going to make for their kids and their community. So this is the way to make change. And it is failing. Top-down is failing everywhere. And this is necessary. Management and companies, politicians, they don't want bottoms up. They want top down. That's how they have their power. People are resisting this revolution. And it's the biggest bottoms up revolution since democracy itself, which Andy Pancholi and I talk about in Zero Hour. We're getting ready to see the biggest political and social revolution in history. And we're seeing that start. And politics is failing. We've got this red-blue divide that's the worst since the Civil War, maybe more extreme. It's almost impossible to get anything done in Washington because there's the far right, i.e. Trump, and the far left, Bernie Sanders. There's no common ground. There's no place to agree on anything. And the only thing we've been able to pass of substance were tax cuts for corporations, which only make income inequality that's already off the charts, worse in history, or similar to 1929 or worse, only gives tax cuts to companies right when they have the highest profits as a percentage of GDP at any time in history, and they have excess capacity, especially overseas in Asia and China, and don't need to invest in new capacity. So what do? Financial engineering. Just like, quantitative easing. Central banks. Does that sound top down? Central banks have taken over the free market system, taken over free markets. They set long-term and short-term interest rates and make money basically free. What happens when you do that? People waste it. They speculate. Financial engineering, stock buybacks, mergers and acquisitions to reshape the pie. How do we know this is failing? Dr. Lacey Hunt, who's speaking at our IES conference in October, he explains money velocity in a way no economist does. It's about measuring whether we are making productive investments in our economy. Productive ones that throw off profits and create new jobs and new productive investments again out of their success. Not financial engineering, not mergers and acquisitions. Top-down is failing. Tax cuts, top-down management of the economy. Quantitative easing, top-down management of markets. Special interests. They have taken over democracy. It's not democracy anymore. We don't have democracy. The 2 Koch brothers, which I use as an example all the time, 2 billionaires, douchebags, basically single-handedly decided to veto Mitt Romney running for the Republican primary back last time for president. Now, it doesn't matter whether you like Mitt Romney or not. That's not the point. This is not democracy. Lobbying should be damn near banned, if not totally banned. Why should special interests be able to basically bribe and lobby Congress people to get what they want, their special interests met, instead of the public good? And this is happening all the time. So we do need a revolution, and it is about bottoms up. It is about putting information on the front lines of companies and individuals and small teams that can know their profitability, their cost, fixed and variable, can make decisions right on the spot, real time, and customize products and services way better than any idiot manager on the back line. Sorry for you managers. Managers may be smart, but they don't know shit about the frontline customer because they're not there. And customers like me can't get what they want because the bureaucracy says we can only do this, can only do that, only do this. Let the frontline people, make them a business. Make them entrepreneurs. Make them decision makers, not robots, not clerical people. Technologies are going to automate all of that. All the middle-class jobs are being taken over by foreign labor that can do the same middle-class jobs we used to do for half the price or less. Those are gone. It's not immigration that's the problem. It's foreign competition of labor around the world, especially from Asia. It's called the Asian deflation. That's what happened to wages in America. If we're going to make America great again, it's not about going backwards. It's not about restoring jobs that are now obsolete and will be obsolete fast if they're not already. It's about making people entrepreneurs. It's about tapping the creative, human, interactive talents, networking capacities of everyday workers and making them more profitable, giving them a share of the profits they create, not the whole corporation. What do they have to do, a frontline team, with the whole corporation? The share of profits they create measured by software in real time and allowing them to make better, more profitable decisions for them and the company and to get a little piece of those profits. Now they're not competing with foreign workers doing robo jobs. This is the revolution. Management, government has been resisting this for 2 decades. It's going to take the top down failing. It has to fail, and it is failing. Politics is failing, if you haven't noticed. And now a new book comes out and says the White House is in total chaos, in case you haven't noticed. Red, blue will never agree. Management is failing. Again, I can't get the type of service I need out of most companies. And now I'm in Puerto Rico. See, it's even more difficult here in a lot of ways, because there is a kind of a bureaucratic tradition. We got to kill bureaucracy. Software eliminates management and bureaucracy, and those are the problem. Management is the problem, not the solution. Managers, good politicians should be putting information in people's hands so they can make better decisions politically, socially, for their business, for the company, for the country. This is how you make America great again. You use technologies to make people smarter. You don't fight technologies. You don't fight foreign competition. That's all part of what makes free market capitalism succeed. Democracy should be enhanced by the interconnectivity of people who can participate and be informed on levels they could never have decades ago. New technologies, information technologies, make democracy more democratic, more inclusive. They make businesses more innovative, more competitive, if they're used properly, not to streamline the old top-down system, but to create bottoms-up. Again, make people entrepreneurs, make everybody a business, every small team. Backline teams are consultants and providers to the frontline teams. Backline teams, like a consulting firm, have their business and are measured on their profits. Frontline teams are measured likewise. And they're the ones that make the decisions for the customer with some fairly clear rules, but give them some leeway to do what the customer wants, not what the damn backline managers and bureaucrats want. So we have this constipation in politics, supreme constipation in business. This is the answer. It is using technologies in the right way. It's understanding what they're really intended to do. Thomas Friedman, one of my favorite mainstream authors, and there aren't many of them, he said today, just like these people flying around on their Cessna, you have to stand on your head to see what's happening. You got to look from the bottoms up. This is where the revolution's happening. And again, this whole crash I'm talking about, and it's coming. It's definitely coming between late 2019 and 2023, if not sooner, with things breaking down so fast in politics here. This is what it's about. It has to fail to make way for the new. Otherwise, the old just tries to perpetuate itself and uses technologies wrongly. And guess who's the most top-down country in the world? China. Why do you think I'm so down on China? And Lacey Hunt's Money Velocity. How productively is money being invested? Guess who's the lowest of the major countries in the world? China, number one, Japan, number two, my two least favorite economies, because China and Japan are both aging, number one, and they're very top-down run, and they're doing business the old way and politics the old way. Didn't we learn from Russia that top-down centralized planning doesn't work very well? Bottoms up is the trend. I like everything bottoms up. What do you think cryptocurrencies are trying to do? They're in their infancy. This can be decades before they become their own kind of internet-like trend and mainstream. They're saying people don't trust top-down monetary systems anymore, and they shouldn't. Totally manipulated to the adverse effects of our economies and our free market system. So again, bottoms up is the trend. Be looking for that in business and investments and in politics. Be voting for the people that support that, no matter what party they're from.